Hi, and once again welcome to TonyWilliams.com. As I always say at the start of all my posts, I hope some of the materials that I'm able to share in this video could get an average person like myself going from a place of good to greatness as we strive to reconstruct ourselves, to build a legacy for ourselves that's obviously sustainable and that would hopefully last. Yesterday I was talking about failure and the reasons why some of the things we do we don't succeed at it. I was trying to describe some things or some characters or some of the nature that we have as human beings that just make us feel at certain things we do. Failure in itself, there are many ways in which we could fail, and most of the time it's not actually recognizable to people, the ways in which we fail. We just wonder why we fail all the time. And I said that if we don't identify these areas that causes us to fail on a regular basis, it's so difficult for us to even follow or start a path to success. I always think failure itself should be a stepping stone to success, but if we don't recognize those traits that are within us that allow us to fail, it's impossible for us to be able to even visualize or see the route to success. So yesterday I spoke about different areas. I did say I had about 10 sort of bullet points or 10 10 headings on reasons why I think people fail, and I thought I got through about 5 of them, which the first of them was I think the first of them was it having no goals. No, sorry. The first of them was blaming everybody else for our failure, and the second was blaming ourselves. The third I think was having no goals, and the fourth was having low goals. So that was no goals and low goals, and then I think the fifth was not approaching our goals with the doggedness and desire that we really need to use to achieve the goals. But the beauty of it, or what I actually recognize or might have forgot to say yesterday, there's actually nothing like no goals, because everybody has a goal. A gambler goes to a gambling machine to win the machine or to conquer the machine and get the jackpot. But he does that at the cost of everything else, at a cost of loss to everything else, I should say. So if he has £100 in his pocket and he goes to a slot machine and says, look, today, and mind you, that's the only £100 he has, but he's going to he's taking that £100 to the slot machine to use it entirely up to ensure that, until he plays the last pound, he's not going to be able, or he might just be able to win or conquer the machine and get the jackpot. He's taking that risk of conquering the machine or not conquering the machine at a cost of a loss to everything else. So if that's the only £100 that he had to his name, he's taking that risk of gambling that whole £100 at the loss of him. If he has a family, putting food on the table, or putting light in in the house, or putting electricity, or putting gas in the house, or putting petrol in his wife's car, or paying his children's school fees, or whatever it is. But so there's always a goals, but there's always an issue also about setting wrong goals. So there's nothing like no goals or low goals. Sometimes in retrospect, it's just sort of the wrong set of goals that we set. So and in the same vein, if we come closer to home, we talk about someone who's got £1,000 and decide to go to a club and use it all on champagne, or use it to buy things for women or hotels or whatever, at a cost of a loss to everything else that needs to be touched out of that £1,000 that he made. So it's important that we prioritize these things, and as we prioritize, we set the goals and then we prioritize them, and then as we prioritize them, we actually do the corresponding action towards achieving and making those goals come to pass. That was about yesterday, and today I think I want to add a little bit more to it, and some of the things that I want to speak about today also, which I think allows us to feel one of them probably is, always looking for a shortcut for everything. You can't achieve anything looking for a shortcut all the time. But sometimes you just got to go through the test of time. Sometimes we've just got to go through the right way, the right routes. Yes, it might take long, it might be painful, but as they always say, no pain, no gain. If you want to lose weight, sometimes you've just got to go to the gym, and you've just you've got to just have the tenacity to continue on the treadmill. Or you want to get fit, you just got to continue pushing yourself to the results are in there. It's actually in there. It's when you look for shortcuts, and you go, if you're a woman, you go and you just go and do Botox, or or whatever they do to cut off flab here, cut off a flab there, and and then something is not sustainable, because later down the year you've got to keep doing it and doing it and doing it till it becomes a sort of I don't know what the word is, but it becomes sort of a toxin to your body, so that we can't always look for shortcuts. Even in our career paths, we can't always look for shortcuts, and we can't constantly look for people who are going to write our exams, or people who are going to attend class for us, or in the real world, when we present ourselves as the owners of those certificates, and we're faced with the things that people holders of such certificates should do, we're lost. We're lost. So we can't always look for shortcuts. It's important that we know that in order to succeed, we go through the right channel. We have to do things through it. That's the only way where things are sustainable, and it's by going through the right channel. The second one is equally, as similar as that. Or I should say the opposite of that, because if we're looking for shortcuts, then there's also a crime in trying to just go the longest way through. It doesn't make sense. But when you take too much time to do something, you probably lose focus, or you just get you get tired, you get bored. You can't take forever to do things. You have to get on and get in and get the job done straight away. If it's a goal, you just got to start doing everything that's going to put you in the right direction to attaining that goal. Be sharp, be precise. Don't just add all sorts of junk into it just because it looks real. Just have a clear mind about it. Be decisive. Do map out a route to get to this goal. I've always asked myself, have we ever wondered why the children of Israel, that came out of Egypt and was flee from slavery, why God took them, on a 40-year journey, as opposed to an 11-day journey through the land of the Philistines? The irony of it is that everybody that came out and went on that 40-year journey, they didn't reach the promised land. They all perished. It was a longer route. If God wanted to, he could have just taken them through. It would have taken actually 11 days if they cut through Philistine into the land of Canaan. And that's just sort of parallel that I'm trying to. When you take too long, to go on a road to get to a goal, you use up your energy, you use up your resources. It takes more of your time. It takes a toll on your body, and sometimes you actually end up not getting to your destination. So it's quite important that we bear in mind that we can't try to look for shortcuts. Neither could we always be looking for the longest route to get to that goals. We have to be able to balance it out and find, a precise and direct route to get to our goal, and get to our goal very much in time. The third one also that I wanted to talk about is always giving up on time, which is a similar thing. If you look at it, they all relate to each other. We can't always give up on time. As they say, winners never quit, and quitters never win. So you've got to always know that as long as you've got that focal goal in your mind, you are going to attain it. Whatever it takes, you've got to give 100% to it. You can't give up, even though it's delayed, even though it looks like it's obscured, even if you can't see it. As long as you've got the belief in yourself that you are heading in the right direction, carry on with it. Carry on with it, because when it's like someone who goes to search for a diamond and who's just picking up pebbles and picking up pebbles and picking up pebbles and picking up pebbles, and thinks to himself, what? Do you know what? I'm just picking up pebbles day, night, afternoon, morning, and I'm not hitting this diamond. And then just before he picks one more pebble, or just before he picks just one more stone, he gives up. And then somebody else comes and just picks it and picks the diamond. And that's just basically how it is. You cannot give up. You cannot give up. You've got to have the willpower to carry you on. You've got to have the tenacity to carry you on. You've got to always make sure that whatever it takes, you are going to. And that's what I spoke about yesterday, about having that doggedness. You just got to carry on. Just carry on. Carry on, because where there's a will, there's definitely a way. But it depends on how bad you want it. If you know how bad you want it, you would always find a way through it. So it's important to know not to give up on time. Now, my fourth point also is, it's probably what everyone does, and it's just neglecting little things. Little things, they're the most important things. Never think of attaining the big thing without doing all the little things first. They say a journey of 1,000 miles, it starts with what? One single step. You've got to always understand that the little things always matter. When you don't deal with little things, they turn out to be big problems. So it's important to understand that everything that you need to do to attain your goal has to be touched upon. You can't, shove any to the side. This doesn't matter, or that doesn't matter. I'll do that tomorrow, or that's not so significant. Do you know how many times people in a maths exam, we failed our exam because we didn't put a decimal point in there? That's a little thing. You get all the calculations right, but you just don't put a decimal point there, or you don't put it back in brackets, and you failed. You failed, or you got the question wrong. So that's how important it is. Everything. Always dot your I's, cross your T's, because in your part to your success, those little things, they matter, and they make your journey more direct and right time. And I think the final one I want to talk about also, which a lot of us do, is just after considering everything, after considering not to blame everybody else, but blame yourself enough to invoke a change, after considering not to take shortcuts and also not to take the longest route, after considering what else did I say, how to pay attention to little things, and so many other points that I've put in place from yesterday. I think the most final one is never to have an illusion of success. Never to think to yourself you've arrived when you're really not there. Do you know the truth of it is that success can't be won? Success is a continuous game. There's no ending to success. Do you know how that if you snooze, you lose. That's exactly what success is. You've always got to work at it. Don't ever think you get to a stage where you think, yep, I'm alright. Someone who makes £1 million, £2 million, £3 million, if he ever stops earning, even though he gets interest on it and keeps spending that £1 million, there's stories of loads of people who, the Lotto out, Mike Tyson, loads of people who had it and lost it. And that's because at a time you get to a level of success where you think, yep, I'm right, and then you stop putting the effort in, and then success, what? It just drains away and it brings you back to nothing. So you always have to understand, never have an illusion of success, never think, I've arrived, I don't, nothing else ought to be done, I am where I'm supposed to be, this is it, no, you've got to keep work. The most richest people on earth, they still wake up every morning and look for a new thing to do. Richard Branson, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, everyone, Aliko Dangote from Mars, everybody has to wake up, or they wake up every morning and look for something new to put in place. And that's the only way you could be sustainable. That's the only way that we could continue this strive. That's the only way that we could be on top and remain on top. An athlete, someone like Usain Bolt, he's got all these world records and everything. He's got all this success at his disposal, but he never stops. You've always got to be hungry. He's always hungry, 100%. You see him, even when he puts his little training bits on social media and everything, you can see the hunger in it. Ronaldo, look at the sort of Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, look at the sort of what can I say, genius that this guy is. But he's always hungry, he doesn't say, I've got the talent, yes, I've got the skills, so I'm not going to feed the hunger. He feeds his hunger, and that's how it is. Even if you get that success, even if you attain where you're meant to be in life, always still feel that hunger. But feel that hunger and it would keep you hungry and keep you up there. And I think that's all it is. I mean, feel free, that's the word. Feel free to pull me up on anything. I mean, it's pretty simple. If you feel like it, drop me a mail. Otherwise, until we speak again.